Datchina is a 37-year-old Malaysian man who's been on death row in Singapore for over 10 years. Less than 24 hours before his scheduled execution, Datchina represented himself in court and won against two formidable public prosecutors, and therefore won a stay of execution that is in effect till today. Datchina's family describe him as a cheerful, gentle, deeply spiritual man who would always help anyone in need, even as he was living in poverty. And he felt a strong sense of duty towards his family and left school at the age of 17 to support them. He's also extremely wise, evident through the letters he's written and the worship songs he writes. He's often said that if he's ever freed from prison, he wishes to help other vulnerable youth to make sure they don't get into trouble with the law like he did. Arifin will be reading Datchina's letter.
6 months ago when we were gathered at Hong Lim Park, we were there for the impending executions of Nagendran and Datchina Murthy, right? As Kokila mentioned, Datchina actually represented himself and managed to fight for a stay of execution himself. Nagendran unfortunately was executed, and Nagendran and Datchina were both best friends on death row. So when you read this letter, you can see there will be a lot of emotions, so I just hope to do it a little bit of justice. And he also wrote it after Nagin was executed. And just for some context, Datchina was scheduled to hang on 29 April, and his stay of execution was granted a day or two before that. I think a day before that. These letters are written by Datchina between 4th to 11 May. What allows me to be alive today? Is it the words from the judge, the law, my family, me, or God? If man has power under the law to exercise mercy, then who is deserving of it? What do death row inmates need to earn to be alive, to live their lives? Is the law there only to punish offenders to deter the crime? Isn't the law there also to be practiced to rehabilitate and reform offenders, to not re-offend again, so that it can also deter crime? I am a first-time offender. What is the proof in the law to say that I will not reform or change? Why are the drug offenders on death row not given the chance to reform, especially first-time offenders? Why are we not in the category or list for rehabilitation? Nagendran and I were sentenced to death for the amount of diamorphine found in the drugs and not the gross weight of the drugs. The total amount of diamorphine in the drugs can only be known after the drugs were sent to HSA for analysis. Nagendran was caught with 0.5 kilogram of heroin and 42.72 grams of diamorphine. In my case, it was 2.2 kilograms of heroin with 44.96 grams of diamorphine. Me and Nagendran are not experts to know the total amount of diamorphine before it was analyzed. You see, one of my friends in remand was arrested in 2011. 2.2 kilograms of heroin, and after it was analyzed, it was only 15 grams. From 2.2 kilograms, after analysis, only 15 grams of diamorphine. The AGC gave him an unconditional offer for 14.99 grams, and he was eventually sentenced to 20 years imprisonment. All of us are first-time offenders, and our urine tested negative for heroin. To kill people depending on the amount exceeding 15 grams of diamorphine does not make any sense at all, especially when the accused person may not have the knowledge. Now, in murder cases, it is not their actions, like, how many times they stabbed the victim, for it to be considered murder. But what also matters is whether they have the intention to kill. though the accused person may have taken someone's life, the court may still find them not to have the intention to kill. It is good to show mercy for accused persons like this in giving them a second chance to live their lives. What they did is still wrong, but they must be punished for what is their intentions and actions, and not for intentions and actions that are not theirs. You see, these drug couriers from Malaysia come from very difficult backgrounds. All their education levels are very low, and many of them do not have drug knowledge at all, and have not consumed drugs, especially not heroin. They do not understand or know the effects and impact it can bring to people. Many of them don't even have criminal records in Malaysia. Most of them are young and inexperienced people who can easily be manipulated or cheated by drug dealers or drug syndicates. Many Singaporean drug offenders are also consumers of heroin. They consume and traffic heroin, but that doesn't mean they're enjoying or living their lives happily and peacefully. They're only dealing and interacting with people in the same situation as them. They are also victims because they cannot come out of the sickness of this addiction. To me, none of these drug case offenders have an intention to kill, harm, or destroy anyone's lives. So please do not take their lives to justify saying that they cause or bring harm to people and society. Please do not justify it with an intention that was never theirs. I am not a highly educated person, and many of us here today are from the same background. I think if all of us got a proper education in life, many of us would not be here today. Educated people always think differently from people like us. To me, prison is my university, especially death row. It's really painful to see so many people here lose hope, lose faith, and many of them are relying on psychiatric medications simply to forget their pain, to relieve their stress and distress. All of them are very friendly, though many of them are not highly educated, but they are really talented. Some of them can sing well, some of them can draw well, some of them can make handicrafts only using paper and glue. Life is so precious, beautiful, and wonderful. I can't take it to see their lives wasted this way. And there's a verse from the Bible. I don't know how to cite Bible verses, so sorry if I mess things up. So there's Luke 6:30. Do for others just what you want them to do for you. If you only love the people who love you, why should you receive a blessing? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good only to do, and if you do good only to those who do good to you, why should you receive a blessing? Even sinners do that. Be merciful just as your Father is merciful. And the last 3 paragraphs of this poem, I think they're most powerful. I may not win my case. I will not win the world, but I have won many good people's hearts. This is the true victory for me. You and many others have care and concern for us. I'm so touched by your every word. You all see us as we really are, with mercy, with love, with compassion. I should have died a long time ago, but I'm still alive today. I don't know what's going to happen to my life or how long I'm going to be alive. The only thing I have in my heart now is to live my life for others. I don't want anything for myself. But I am not ashamed of who I am now. And I will not bow my head to anyone except God. People can only kill my body. After that, they can do nothing more. Thank you.